Bam, bam. This is low budget, no dent in my wallet. Let's bring Star Wars. Ba-na. This movie's getting mixed reception. This movie. Oh, it really is. Okay. Yeah. Well, I have stuff to say about this movie. Let's get to it. Greetings, people of Earth and anybody else from any other galaxies out there. Welcome to MaffmanJones Movie Reviews. I'm your host, John Maffio, and today's featured movie is Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. Once again, James Gunn comes back to direct this film, and it stars great actors like Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, Zoe Saldana, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, as well as other returning players like Karen Gillan as Nebula, Michael Rooker as Yondu. The biggest, newest installment is Kurt Russell as Ego the Living Planet. And the story is basically about Peter Quill, Chris Pratt. He's been looking for his father since he got kidnapped by Yondu when he was a kid on Earth after his mom passed away from cancer. And he basically finds out that his dad is this living planet. And I'm not going to get into anything else. We also learn a lot about the characters who are on this team and how they are becoming more and more of a family. Now, I've been reviewing movies on YouTube, not that it really means anything, but I've been reviewing movies on YouTube for over 5 years now, and whenever I read fellow friends or fellow critics' reviews of movies, I listen to them and I take them with a grain of salt in my head of how I'm going to perceive the movie myself. Like, when I walk into a movie that has hype, I do like having those reviews in the back of my head, people I trust, knowing what they felt about it. And I've heard that this movie has had a lot of mixed reception, so I didn't know what to expect personally. But I mean, I know I love the first movie. It's one of my favorite superhero movies in the Marvel Studios realm. So going into this, I was still very excited. I've always been excited for this. Walking out of this movie, I slept on it. I thought about it. This is a great sequel. As a sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy, this is a great sequel to that first film. It improves on most fronts, and it's also just in general a great movie sequel. And perhaps, maybe, my favorite Marvel Studios sequel next to Winter Soldier. There's a lot to adore about this film. The acting all around is just great, and the camaraderie, the chemistry between all these actors just feels so organically, emotionally resonant that when things do get emotional, you feel it. Kurt Russell as Ego the Living Planet. I didn't know what the hell to expect from a living planet, but I bought into the explanation of how he's a living planet and how he embodies a human being form. And even though he does give off a lot of expository dialogue, I bought into it. And minus a moment or two where I feel like a lot of emotion was cut dry out of nowhere due to a humorous moment with him. That's not his fault. That's the script and the direction. Overall, I loved Kurt Russell in this movie. I also really just loved the character development. Most of the characters here get a lot of character development, and the movie is about these characters learning more about where they're from, where they're going, and how they relate to each other. Not going to spoil it here, there's a couple characters who get the short end of the stick in terms of character development, but everybody does have something to say, something to do, and something to go through. Dave Bautista has such incredible line delivery for comedic timing, and I can't wait to see what he does next for Volume 3, because we know Volume 3 is coming now. Chris Pratt has a lot more to do in this movie acting-wise, like emotionally, like you really feel for him, and I loved his arc. Yondu, Michael Rooker, oh my god. Let me just say, I always liked Michael Rooker, but his role in this movie is partially, more majorly, the heart and soul of this film. And I loved the dynamic with him and the other characters, especially Chris Pratt and Rocket Raccoon. The emotional beats worked for me for all these characters, but especially Yondu's character. Like, I really felt it. James Gunn, I love this dude. He's a great director, he's a great storyteller, and I really dug the direction he went with these characters and what he did for these characters, and I like the way he's setting up where they're going, too. The movie is colorful, it's super vibrant. They literally use, I feel like, every color in the book for this movie. It's like a rainbow orgasm. There are a couple moments where the movie slows down a bit, and at first I didn't really care for the relationship, the sisterhood between Gamora and Nebula, but then as the movie got towards the end, it grew on me. anything that I wasn't a fan of ended up growing on me by the end of the film. And I just liked the way he took the approach for the story, where we started, how we got to the middle, and how we got to the end. The climax is just a giant cluster of colors and vibrancy and urgency, and I just really, personally, I really dug the direction of the story for this movie with these characters. This movie took risks. It did things, it said things that I would not expect from a Marvel Studios movie. This is purely a James Gunn sequel, a James Gunn film. There are some really intriguing action sequences. There are also some sequences that are just trippy AF. The gold people, the Sovereign, I didn't mind them. They felt like a cheesy, corny B-villain kind of a thing, where they're there to pester and annoy our protagonists. They do show more significance and weight towards the end of the movie, and you'll know why when you see the movie. But I thought they were fun for what they were, even though they were kind of ridiculous. I don't have to say it because everybody else has said it. Baby Groot, that's a genius thing. You can't go wrong with a Baby Groot. Like, that's really, you take a beloved character in the Guardians of the Galaxy and make him a cute little baby. Anything you make that baby do will be bliss, hilarious, adorable, amazing. You just can't go wrong with that. Also, really quick, Sly Stallone is in this movie. Rocky Balboa himself. Does he do a lot? No, but for the sake of expanding the universe with legendary actors and characters, I'm glad he was in it, and I'm imagining he'll have a bigger role in the future of this Marvel Cinematic Universe. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is a really damn good sequel that just focuses on characters and makes them more intriguing, more fascinating, more emotionally resonant, and you can get into their heads. The comedy, the timing is great. There's some great emotional moments. The emotional beats pay off in spades, in my opinion. The main antagonist of Guardians Volume 2 is one of the more memorable ones in all these movies, and it connects to everything going on in the film, and I just can't believe this movie is such a great package of everything, of all flavors, and it's getting mixed reception. It just kind of boggles my mind. If you're not a fan of Guardians, then you're probably not going to enjoy this one either. You have to at least be into this universe, into these characters, in order to be invested for this one. But this movie does what sequels should do, is expand on the mythology and give us more with the characters, and that's what it does. And I really enjoyed this so much, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's a darn good movie. Now I want to know from you guys, what did you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, also please like, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the rest of my social medias down in the info box. Also, if you didn't know, for Star Wars Day, May the 4th, I started a new Star Wars channel, and there's gonna be videos on that at least once a week for a Monday morning show called Wake Up and Smell the Tauntaun. So if you haven't subscribed, please check that out. I'm going to be dedicated to that channel as well as this channel. I'm going to be putting a lot of effort into both of these channels now. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and I'll see you guys next time.